everybody, this is Bob from Buckeye Sportsman. I'm really excited today to talk to you guys about the new 2021 Axis T23. So the Axis T23 is a model that I really like, and the reason why is because it's almost like the little brother model to the Malibu 23 LSV. So the Malibu is kind of like the best-selling wake boat in the market, the award-winning boat. But the cool thing about the Axis is that really the hull characteristics and the wake forming characteristics compared to that Malibu are basically the same. It's just not quite as many upgrades and features. But for somebody who maybe can't step all the way up to that Malibu 23 LSV, this is an excellent consolation prize at a much lower price point. So we'll go through some of those features, but it's still a great boat, but it's a really impeccable value in the market for a 23-foot wake boat. So one of the things I'll talk about just to kind of get started with this T23 is a lot of times on a value price boat or something like that that's a little bit less money, you're not going to find a lot of cool, unique features in the hull. But if I actually look at the hull of this boat, it's got 3D shapes to it, 3D geometry to it, and really, that's something you don't normally find on a little bit more of a price point boat. So I just wanted to point that out because it is different, it is unique to this price level in the marketplace. Okay, so on the T23, we're going to start the train, so I'm going to work our way inside the boat. Again, a feature that you're not going to normally find on more of a value-oriented boat is this little rear staging seat in the area back here. So if you're booting up, getting ready for the water, there's a nice, padded seat here. Not too fancy, but it gets the job done. Other things like this transom stereo remote is included on this particular package. And the cool thing, again, with Axis, which is optional, but this particular boat and the way that we're typically going to equip certainly all the T23s is with the Surf Gate and Power Wedge 3 setup for the wake forming capabilities, which is exactly the same stuff you'll get on a Malibu model. So the wake forming characteristics of this Axis from a technology perspective is pretty much the same as what you'll find on Malibu. So that's really cool. They also have a manual wedge option, but that's slowly kind of going away as people get into the power wedge. The power wedge, you can do more adjustments with it. You can adjust them on the fly at the dash. So that's, again, really cool feature you're going to find on this model that you typically, you really can't find. You can't find Surfgate and you can't find power wedge on anything other than Axis and Malibu. So again, one of the key things to this 23-foot Axis is really Malibu and Axis do a great job of space utilization, and this model is no exception. So this boat is huge in the cockpit area. There's all kinds of seating. You can count the number of people that can sit around, but really you can get in some 25-foot boats and won't find as much seating in the cockpit as you will on this Malibu. We've made some upgrades on this boat. Things like the soft grip flooring upgrade, which you'll find on some of the higher end models, again, is a feature that you don't normally get on this price point, but you're going to find it on the Malibu and Axis, particularly this Axis T23. Other things just like cup holders galore, located all the way through. Again, all these little cubby storage areas you're not normally going to see. A lot of times you might see 2 or 3 cup holders. This one has 6 to 8 on each side. The other kind of cool feature that I'll point out is the sliding seat, which does have an optional backrest, but the way it sits right now is that you can adjust this seat into different positions depending on where people are in the boat, and then you can actually get an optional backrest to this as well. But again, giving you some seating versatility, and that's a standard feature on this Axis T23. Okay, so as we get into the dash of an Axis for 2021, keep it simple, but everything is easy to view, easy at the fingertips. So you're not going to find crazy big digital screens and stuff like that, but you are going to find everything that you need, easily labeled, easy to get to. So we'll start on kind of the left and work our way over. But your stereo control with your Bluetooth compatibility is all down here at the bottom left. All right, your basic switches for your ballast as well as your blower and bilge lighting is all here on the left-hand side as well. You do have a mobile phone holder, which is an optional feature but included on this boat here, so you can get your phone. Traditional gauge setup, so fuel, volts, RPMs on the left, miles per hour, temperature and oil pressure on the right. Now your center screen here, when that's lit up and works, that's where you're going to see things like your Surfgate side, which side you're surfing on, as well as your speed and some different things like that is controlled at the center screen. As we move over to the right-hand side, again, additional lighting features, as well as your power wedge control is over here on the right-hand side. Again, easy to get to. And then your center screen is adjusted from these switches and down here, which will adjust your surf position, your surf gate, and things like that. Your adjustable steering wheel, again, easy to get to, easy to maneuver. The seat, most of the boats we're going to order with the adjustable swivel seat as well as the slider. And they also do get bolster, optional bolster seat, so if somebody who's smaller driving, you know, they can get good visibility, and it gives you some flexibility in how the driver wants to go to the seat. And again, really conveniently located throttle. There's actually a little area for my elbow to sit, so I'm not, you know, my elbow's not going up in the air, and it's really convenient for a long day on the water. So again, it's a simple dash, you know, but again, there are a lot of features on this boat, whether you talk about the ballast and the power wedge and the surf gate, and there are some things to control, but they try to keep it as simple as possible on the dash, mostly to keep your price point down. And you know, a lot of people like that and appreciate that, is that it's a lot less to go wrong as well. So as we move in the bow of the T23, you know, I think one of the names of the game with this particular bow, it is a traditional bow, so it's not quite as wide as some of the MXZ models or the A models from Axis, but it's very, very deep, so it feels really comfortable. The kids can sit up in here and feel like they're in the boat, and Dad can feel comfortable. They're not going to be bouncing around. So it is a very, very deep bow, but you know, padding all the way through so people can sit in multiple different positions. You know, I'm 6'2", and I'm easily facing backwards here with my legs fully stretched out. So you know, 2 to 3 people can really enjoy it up here. And again, there's some other features that I really like about, you know, heavy-duty grab handles. As people board the boat from the bow or really anywhere throughout the boat, this boat has the optional deck track, so you can, you know, step on the different parts of the boat without sliding your feet. The other cool thing is that this particular boat, you have an optional bow ballast bag that you can get if you want additional ballast for the boat. But they also repositioned the batteries on this model. So it used to be that the batteries were in the back of the boat, kind of taking up storage back there. But now they've kind of conveniently located them to the front, you know, partly because it adds a little bit of bow weight naturally to kind of balance the boat out a little bit better, but it gives you a lot more open storage in the back without having a couple batteries in the way of the storage. So again, really, really well designed, and really, you know, good solid bow size, considering that you have such a big cockpit in the boat. A lot of times when you do that, the bow will shrink, but this one they were able to maintain a really good size bow even with the large cockpit in the back. So the next feature we're going to talk about on this T23 is the Axis tower for 2021. A couple other things I really like about this tower. If you look at older models of towers or other brands, they're still using the thumb screws. The thumb screws sometimes will strip, or you know, you can drop them in the water or something like that. These have quick latches, so if you do need to tilt the tower up and down, you just unpop the latch, lock it back into place. It's quick, it's easy. You don't have to worry about, you know, typically things unthreading or stuff like that. So a really, really heavy duty tower. The bimini top I really like on this boat. You do have a surf storage or a rope storage pocket right here, and then as I move to it's actually easier to access it from this side, but there's actually 2 surf pockets that you can put in, 2 surfboards, one on each side. Up top, easier to load them from the front than it is the back. Other features included on this tower are the swivel board racks. Again, pop it, quick, easy, swivel, you know, adjusting, get them easy to get the boards in and out. Again, a lot of times those on a boat like this will be a fixed board rack without the swivel, but we include the swivels on this, as well as, you know, this boat has got a good sound system from Axis, so we've got a subwoofer included, we've got 6 speakers inside the boat, as well as the 2 tower speakers here. So again, really good sound quality. I'm a taller guy, and you know, the tower speakers are located high enough that it's not going to knock me in the head. I can still walk through the center of the boat and not have to worry about that. Sometimes the tower speakers will hang a little low and you got to kind of duck underneath them. So again, really, really well designed tower, really nice sturdy bimini top on this Axis T23. So the last thing I'm going to kind of talk about feature-wise in this Axis T23, and this carries forward to all the other Axis models, is the storage compartments. Number one, they're deep and they're roomy, but number two, a lot of companies, you know, in order, basically from when you're building a fiberglass boat, usually the inside of the mold is rough, and a lot of times the only way to make that, clean that up, is to you know, put carpet in it to kind of cover up all that kind of raw fiberglass. But Malibu, you know, with their system of building this boat, basically you have these more or less built-in manufactured tubs that don't require carpet. So it's a nice finished off area. You're not going to be putting life jackets or skis or wakeboards or whatever in the storage areas and having them mildew up. So anywhere that's on the flat base, you're going to see, you still see some carpet up the sides, but anywhere where water's going to drip, you're not going to see any carpet or anything like that. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, because a lot of times you'll see a 3 or 4 year old boat from brand X and you see all the mildew in the carpet and all that from all the water gets collected in there and just sits in there. So really cool feature with Axis, having that be finished off completely in their storage compartments. Thanks guys for checking out the Axis T23 with us at Buckeye Sports Center. For more information and to view all of our Axis inventory, check out our website, buckeyesportscenter.com. Thanks for watching.